What is up, everyone? Hurricane Liz here, back for another Professor's podcast. And with me, as usual, the man, the myth, the legend, the professor himself, and Howie. Today, we've got a very exciting guest. This gentleman is an expert at Amazon PPC. He's pretty much seen PPC what it was before, and now we're slowly evolving into this machine learning and artificially intelligent PPC. So you want to tell people a little bit more about where you met him, as well as why you picked him and hand selected him to be a speaker at the upcoming PPE 3.0, which I will be talking about at the end of this actual interview. But Howie, tell us a little bit more about him before we jump straight into the questions and we kind of talk to him about what's going on in the world of Amazon.
Okay, so Lazar, I'm getting old. Maybe you could refresh me. When was the first time we met? Do you remember?
I think in person we met each other in China. In Guangzhou, I think maybe.
Oh,
I'm not
yes,
really,
I remember now.
100% sure. But we know each other for a couple of years now.
I remember. So it was in Guangzhou when I was.
China. When was this, Howie?
I think it was like 2 years ago. I don't remember. I really don't.
I think so.
Yeah. Then we kind of like I took him out to eat the lamb. That was really, and I knew he liked it, right? And also the massage.
Oh, it was like probably one of the best lambs I ever had. Yeah, foot massage was really good as well. But like lamb was insanely good. Like Howard, like I think he asked a couple of my friends like what kind of stuff I like, because like either that or we have the same taste for food. So like he literally like took me from one place to another, and I liked every single one of them. It was really good.
And then
I remember Howie once took me to eat too, and
oh yes, I remember that too. Eel rice.
Taking me to eat multiple times. A lot of them were really memorable. Yeah, eel rice. I'll never forget the eel rice, especially my reaction when I found out how the eel was prepared. But nonetheless, it was very delicious up until I found the story of how the eel rice comes to existence. But he still went above and beyond, and then he took me to the best dim sum I've had in my entire life. So that was pretty memorable. Nice. But incidentally, Lazar, right now you are in Miami, which is my town, and you're over in South Beach. So and you're also about to head on to a really exciting adventure. You're going to go see some alligators. And really, if you think about the world of Amazon, sometimes it feels like you're in a world full of alligators and you're having to fight them off. So let's go and start there. Let's tell the audience a little bit more about yourself, and just pretend, for example, say you're on an elevator with Howie. This is the first time you've ever approached him, and you want to speak at his professor's pandemic event. Let him know a little bit more about yourself and give him the elevator pitch of who Lazar is.
I'm a PPC guy. Like, that's the shortest. Like, I own Amazon agency, and I'm in PPC for 10 years now. I'm part of Amazon PPC Consultants 100 group. Before that, I was in top 100 Google advertisers in Northern Europe. I'm based in Belgrade, Serbia, with a team of 70 people at this point. They're all doing PC. We have huge partnerships. We're one of the biggest partners that we're working on is Trasio, fastest growing unicorn in the history of US. So basically, that's the pitch of like around 1 minute probably. If you want longer, I can do longer.
No.
No, that was perfect. I think that was fantastic. Thank you so much for letting us know that.
On a side note, Liz, he likes to drink a lot too. He always gets me drunk.
Oh boy, that's a good thing he's going to the alligator farm today.
I'm Serbian. It goes to like all that kind of stuff goes together.
Oh yeah. I could recommend you a lot of places in Miami. I'll tell you some more at the end of this. I don't want to bore everybody, unless you guys do want to know how to have fun in Miami. We could all have a whole podcast on that. But Howie, go right ahead.
So Lazar, you told us you're the PPC expert. So can you tell us a little bit about how you do PPC that's kind of different from other people, maybe, or something that our audience would be really interested in finding out about PPC?
Yeah, like when it comes to working with us, like if somebody works with Sellers Alley, our company, the main difference is like we have stable quality and everything is custom tailored for our clients. So all of the clients are getting like what they really basically need. We combine tools and we combine human touch as well. So we have like hybrid method. We developed our own internal tool for taking the data from Amazon, chewing it, and like creating bulk files. I'm a huge fan of bulk files. Howard knows that, and I think that's one of the first reasons like we started talking, because I'm a huge Excel nerd and I like working in Excel with all all formulas and creating bulk files for literally everything. Apart from that, like why we stand like comparing to others is we work from the physical office. That's pretty rare for Amazon PPC agencies to work from the office. So we exchange knowledge way faster. We learn way faster. We communicate way faster. We have people working in all time zones. So like we have all 3 shifts, people working in. When it comes to that, like for example, for Prime Day, like for those 48 hours, we even had like live stream from the office to show people that we're working all the time on their accounts, and like it was kind of pretty impressive thing to see. Apart from that, as I mentioned, we have other aspects where like we are partners with TikTok, like official partner with them, and like we're official TikTok partner for Germany as well. We do a lot of attribution. That's something that is kind of uncommon to see with Amazon PPC agencies. So we offer like full package when it comes to PPC. We don't try to be super smart and like do other stuff. We work only on the thing that we are good at. We work on PPC.
One more thing, maybe you can explain it to people. Like, there's like things that PPC agencies or people who are bigger in a selling would protect or try to do some kind of strategy for their PPC. One of them may be brand protection. The second one may make sure that their PPC ads sales will not cannibalize their organic sales. What kind of strategies do you guys use?
Yeah, well, basically, depending on the seller, there are a whole bunch of different strategies that they can take. Like, there are some stuff that are really important to cover, like, no matter what's the strategy. Like, as you mentioned, to have defensive campaigns, to have attacking campaigns. So basically, what that basically means is to cross-target your own ASINs, to protect your listings from other competitors showing up on your listings. What you want to do is also to target competing ASINs to show up on their listings. What people usually forget doing is like when you think that you expand the error, but that's probably not true, because there is a bunch of space for additional improvements especially when it comes to ASIN targeting. So there are so many ways how to do it, from targeting main competitors that rank like really well for ASINs on the top of the search result page, then to target relevant categories. For example, if you're selling coffee canisters, you want to target people that are selling other stuff as well, like not only other coffee canisters. You want to target coffee beans. You want to target, I don't know, French presses or stuff like that are highly relevant to your product. So you want to diversify and target that. You want to create upselling and cross-selling methods, not only to sell, to try to steal sales from others, but make somebody buy your product with some other product as well. That's something that people are usually skipping and missing. So for those that really don't know like what's upselling and cross-selling, it's basically when you go to, let's say, Best Buy, and like this is like pretty basic stuff that people are missing. You go to Best Buy, you want to buy a TV, and you like really know which TV you want to buy, and you have a guy that is working there, and he's like, do you want to buy like a bigger one, or the one that has more functions and so on? So he's trying to do upselling. And you're like, okay, I don't want that. I have a specific model that they want to buy. And that person then asks you, would you like to buy a soundbar? So that's a cross-selling. That's something that people should use in Amazon advertising as well, especially like because Amazon advertising is becoming more and more complex, and there are more and more options that are available on Amazon at this point. And when I say that, like I expect that we're going to get more like DSP-like options on Amazon. And like one of those stuff that happened is like video ads. Video ads are really cool and like really good way how to promote your product, because it's huge advertising space. Like it's a real big estate of space on Amazon search page, result page that you should take. You can send people to that specific product. You're showing up like instead of any other else. What is really good, it's available in Europe as well, and nobody's using it in Europe at this point. They're not using it mostly, like in Germany it's available right now. And one of the reasons why people are not using it, they're not translating videos. And that's one of the things that you need to do so you can use videos in Germany, for example. And like I'm absolutely 100% sure if you have video translated like or subtitled in German, you're going to kill with sales. Like you're going to have a lot of sales comparing to others just because you're having such a huge advantage against other sellers. And that's just like one small thing comparing to other stuff. Like one of the things that people don't know is basically that you're now able to edit sponsor brand campaigns, and that's something that wasn't available in the past. You know, in the past, basically, like when you go to a sponsor brand campaign, like previously known as headline search ads, like you go there and there is nothing that you can do. Basically, you can just do a bit of bidding, add keywords, that's it. And now you're able to edit, like for campaigns that you're not able to do, like create new ones. Like a lot of new stuff are happening. Like I'm literally jumping from one topic to another because like Amazon is expanding in so many ways, and there are so many stuff that you should do. For example, like if you have like old automatic campaigns, they're probably working pretty good, but maybe you would like to create new automatic campaigns just because there are new targeting options, new targeting methods. Like one of the things that we do when we check new accounts, when we do the audits of new accounts, we check around 20, 30 different stuff. And one of the stuff that we're checking is performance by placement. And it's so easy to check it. Like when you take the report, like from Amazon, go straight to the Amazon, go to reports, download the performance by placement report, pivot it, and you're going to be able to see like for each campaign separately, for each ASIN separately, how it works on different position. And you can bid accordingly. And that's something that people are frequently missing. And like that's not happening only for the small sellers, you know, like we work with pretty big brands as well, like with eight-figure sellers, and like they're missing the same thing, you know. That's one of the things that is super important when it comes to search terms, for example, and keywords. Like never combine match types in the same ad group. That's really bad thing to do because you're never going to be able to narrow down the search funnel. You're never going to be able to cut down the bleeding because that way you're basically just letting Amazon like trigger your keywords for all the search queries, so your ads are going to show up all the time for random stuff. But like so since you don't want that, you want to have like separate match types in separate ad groups. Like everybody's asking, like, is it better to do it at the ad group or campaign level? It's always better to do it at the campaign level, because when you do it on a campaign level, it's easier for you to optimize the budget of those campaigns rather at the ad group level, because you're not able to do it at that level. Other thing that is frequently happening, like that people are asking about, like when it comes to search terms, is like we have search terms that are highly relevant, but they're not making money. So like what you want to do, you take the term report, filter out, and see like which keywords are triggering those search terms. And if you see that exact keyword is triggering that specific search term, so basically it's the same, that's why it's in exact form, obviously. What you want to do is basically lower down the bid. If it's triggered by phrase or broad keyword and you already have like exact form, you need to lower down the bid there or to negate it there because you have specific keyword dedicated for it. Or in the worst case scenario, for example, if you want to like see what's going to happen with that specific search term that is highly relevant and you don't have it as an exact form, you can negate it in a current campaign. So basically it's not triggered by your account at all, anywhere. Create separate campaign, name it like whatever you wish, but highly relevant non-performing keywords, and place it there. Compare your CPC from the report there, decrease it, and as for the new keyword, and you're probably going to see some sales coming, even though like it didn't work in the past. And that's like just one of the small things that you can do. I can literally talk for hours about PPC, about random stuff. So.
Yeah, I know. I've heard you. You're so excited about PPC and stuff. I've been with you for a long time, so even while drinking, you still are very excited. I also wanted to ask you,
that's like bad.
You were just talking about your partner with TikTok for Germany. Can you tell us a little about that?
Yeah, well, one of the things that is happening, like that's something that you guys are hearing the first at this point. We're just about to launch like this dedicated page on on our website about TikTok. So what happened recently, we managed to become a partner with TikTok when it comes to advertising on TikTok platform. We talked to their general manager for Europe and also with their head of performance team, basically their head of PPC. So from TikTok, and like if somebody decides to work with us and like advertise on TikTok, basically what would happen, we would have TikTok team work with us, create like dedicated strategy for that specific product, then we would advertise. And also when it comes to that, like we also have access to platform with all of the influencers, so we can combine all of that effort together, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna rock. At this point, we are at like testing phase with TikTok and all of that. At this point, all of the results are insanely good. So we are going to launch it like really soon, hopefully in the next like week or so.
Yeah, absolutely. Lazar, like you said, you could speak hours and hours about PPC. It's obvious how much you love it. That's how he said.
It's like, please don't.
No, that's not even what I was going to say. You could see it in your passion for it. You could see it in your voice. I actually could talk about PPC long too. But the thing that I wanted to know is, based off of all the knowledge you've acquired and obviously all the expertise that you do have you thought about the 3 to 5 topics that you could speak about at this presentation? And like I said, you have as much time as you want during the actual event, but what 3 to 5 topics could you speak about that would absolutely wow people?
Oh, wow. I have no idea. I can talk literally like pick one and I can talk about it. Like what I think that could be interesting is attribution. That's something that people don't have like luck with it. They usually have some different expectations, or they don't know how to track it correctly. I can go like really in depth when it comes to attribution. We can go with like different targeting methods, or we can go with video ads, or well, as I said, like literally whatever you guys wish. But I feel like that people like using attribution the least, and like there's like a lot of space for everybody to improve, because people try it, fail it, and then stop using it, and it can be really useful. We can talk about like combining attribution with funnels. Funnels are like probably one of the most powerful ways how to generate more clients, and like to track them from one platform to another, to do some stuff like that can be combined with Shopify and Amazon PPC and like a bunch of different stuff. Like you can pick the topic, like I can talk about it. It's not the problem.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll re-listen to this podcast and I'll have definitely a topic for you based on everything you spoke about. I mean, like I said, there's been a lot of excitement in your voice, so I'm quite excited to see what you come up with.
Lazar, you were saying about attribution. Can you talk to me about what level of attribution are you talking about? Are you talking about outside Amazon, or Amazon attribution themselves, or DSP attribution?
Well, I can talk about DSP as well. We offer self-service DSP as well. But like when it comes to attribution, I was first thinking about combining Amazon attribution platform with Google Ads, for example, and tracking that kind of stuff. Like, what's the difference between Amazon attribution and UTMs that you can use from the storefront analytics? Like, that's a huge difference. Results are like completely different from each other, and like people expect to see the same thing, but it's not going to happen just because of that. Or like combining Facebook ads, Google ads, and tracking them on Amazon. That's basically the thing that I can talk about. Or as you mentioned, we can talk about DSP as well. Like, what are the options that are working? Like, we have some sellers, like we manage a lot of accounts on DSP as well, and we have some huge success with a lot of them. So we can, I can tell you some best practices that we use on DSP, or we can combine, since both things are like programmatic retargeting and attribution combined. We can use different platforms, and I can create presentation about like cool stuff that you can do using Google ads, Facebook ads, Amazon attribution, and DSP. Or like, as I said, like
sounds a lot of crazy stuff. I kind of already have some kind of idea of what I want to have you speak about. But regarding a DSP attribution, sometimes not just I get a lot of this question, so maybe you can answer it. When you're doing DSP, it's kind of hard for you to attribute that DSP sales to attribution, because your PPC sales could probably be getting the exact same sales. So you don't know where it's coming from actually. right? So what would you do about that?
Yeah, that's pretty tricky, like when it comes to overall attribution, like the main issue there is that people are used to last click conversions, and like everybody's tracking only last click conversion. But like imagine just like it's the same thing like with headlines or sponsored brand ads, like the same thing as with DSP. Like you think it's like just spending your money, but like when you turn it off, your organic drops, and like people need to understand that like I usually use this as a reference, like when you are on like subway or like you're on a bus or wherever and you're commuting and you're checking your phone and you're watching the like Amazon platform and you search for something and you click on the ad on the top, or you click on something, or after that you're like, oh, it's my stop, I need to like turn off my phone and like do other stuff, and like after that, like you already know the brand, you're fully aware of that product, and your search changes. And from there, like one of the really important things that everybody that sells needs to do is to create their own tracker for everything. I know Amazon gives you information about like shorter period of time, but like if you track performance over time, like you can have like historical data for ages, like since you started selling on Amazon. But like what's really good to have there is like one of the things that we like to track and that helps with what you asked is basically, apart from spend as a percentage of overall revenue or tacos for real acres, depending who you ask, like how they call it, there are other metrics like PPC sales as a percentage of overall sales. So that number really tells you a lot, like where you're at when it comes to your branding and like your campaigns and your ads. Like when you're a huge brand, like a really big one, like a Adidas or something like that, you're probably not investing, like you're investing a lot of money, don't get me wrong, but like comparing to your overall revenue, it's like not a lot of sales are coming from PPC. So it's probably just a couple of percent. Like healthy number for like regular Amazon sellers should be around 30, 35, 40 tops. Above that, like when you check the account and you see that 80% of your sales are coming from PPC comparing to overall number, you probably have a problem, or you're just starting to sell on Amazon. So you're not well-known brand and you're highly dependent on PPC. That's a really big red flag for you, and that's the alarm. That's something that should tell you like that you need to work on your branding. I know that everybody likes to like invest in advertising just to make sales, but at some point, like you're investing in future sales. And I know that it sounds bad, like why should I spend any money that is not like returning it? But it's like the long run. Like it's not like the fast game. Like you want to win in the long run. So what you do there is basically you're investing in your brand, and you see that like your percentage of PPC is just around 35, which is the perfect balance. So like if you decrease the DSP, for example, or you decrease sponsor brand campaigns, you can see like maybe that your PPC is increasing comparing to organic, and you can see like that's cannibalizing, and like your PPC is over investing. Like you should stop. Like you should slow down. Like I own PPC agency, and I'm like talking against myself when I'm saying this kind of stuff. You don't want to make your PPC sales steal your organic sales. So that's the number that you always want to track. You always want to like every week compare your PPC numbers with organic numbers and see the difference there. The other thing that nobody's like that I know is calculating on their own is CPA. Basically, the amount of money that is spent for each PPC sale separately, and the amount of money that is spent for overall sales, not only PPC. So, for example, if you're selling like, I don't know, headphones that are like $100, and your CPA for PPC is around $20, that sounds a lot, but like when it comes to overall sales, maybe it's like if you're having like 35%, it's probably around like just like $7.5 or something like that from the overall number. So like your PPC spend, your advertising efforts are $7.5 for $100, which means that your tacos is basically 7.5%, which is pretty good number if you ask me. Like if you see that your real ACOS or TACOS is around 2-3%, it's probably like you're not doing it like enough. You want to push more. You want to be at like 7, 8 to 12, 13%. Like if you go over 13%, I don't know, like everybody's margin. That's why I said at the beginning, like it depends from strategies depend on different sellers. But overall, like for 99.9% of the sellers, these are the numbers that are working. And like you want to be in the group that is like from 7 to 12, 13% of real ACOS. I know I moved from like your question, like you can hold another ways story about that.
So let's just talk about with the pandemic and with opportunities. What kind of problems and opportunities do you see in 2021 for Amazon sellers?
Everybody needs to understand that like pandemics are not affecting, like it's not affecting only you, it's affecting everybody. So everybody is having the same issue, and the problem is shared. Like you're not the only one seller that is having the main issue. Like what's going to happen, like we already see that people are changing habits, and I'm pretty sure that it's not going to stay like the same as it used to be, like when the pandemic is over at some point in the future. What I expect to see is like to see higher investment in PPC. But since Amazon and other platforms are adding more places where you can advertise, giving you more options, like you're probably going to be able to sell more and spend more, definitely. And it's like I don't see it like super negative. Like just to be absolutely clear, like what's going to happen is like it's going to become more difficult in a manner that platforms are going to become more complex, and like the ones that know what they're doing are going to make more money comparing like if you ask Amazon sellers that are long in Amazon business, like if you ask them like what was PPC like 4 years ago or 5 years ago, they would tell you like whatever you drop, like something would grow from there. And like that's not going to happen anymore. Like at this point, like you need to know what you're doing.
Yeah, I remember it was a lot easier back then. You just posted auto, and and you didn't have to worry too much. Now you every single like month, I see something new in PPC that comes out. So it's like pretty crazy. Also, I just want to confirm what you said to the audience. You're saying that total ACOS about 12 or 13% is where you want to be at, right? For total ACOS. And and when you said 35% are you talking about 35% of your sales should be PPC, or was that right? Okay. And how about the percentage of spent you think should be used on PPC, like from overall total sales? Like how much of spent should you do on ads from like within your total sales?
Well, that's basically real ACOS or TACOS. So as I said, like from 7 to like 12, 13%. I wouldn't like at the beginning, like when you start selling a new product, it's like opening a business, like local store. Nobody knows about that. Like you can give TVs for free in it, but if nobody knows about that, like nobody's going to come and pick them up. And like the same thing goes with like selling new products. You need to invest at the beginning. Like you are going to probably be I'm in PPC for a really long time now, and like it's a really rare thing to see that you're positive from the start, and like that you're becoming millionaire from scratch just because like you launched a new product. Like a lot of sellers are becoming like big sellers because like they had like one big hit, and from there they're expanding to other ACEs and other products. But like overall, you need to be absolutely aware that you need to invest at the beginning, and from there like to build audience. Like it's easier if you already have like more products, if you have your audience, if you have like your newsletter list, if you have your custom audience on Facebook or Google or like wherever, so you can target them and tell them like we're launching a new product. But like after 6 months or 3 months, or depending on your budget, like it's healthy around from 3 to 6 months to be absolutely sure that you're in a green zone. And like what the Amazon algorithm doesn't like is like when you push really hard and invest everything at once and you burn everything at once, and you had like 500 sales in one day, and next day you have 0. Like, that's really bad. Like, it's better not to have any sales from the start. Like, what you want to do, you want to build sales from time, like to start with 1, 2, 3, 4, and like to grow it over time. That's the healthy way how to do it.
Amazing. Awesome. That was amazing answers that you had, Lazar. And that was a lot of information you gave people. I know there's going to be a lot of people that are super excited to hear you speak. If that's the kind of information you gave away for free, then there's no telling what you're going to reveal once we hit the Professor's Pandemic 3.0, which is coming up mid-February. So you guys do not want to miss it. It is happening February 15th, 16th, live from the comfort of your own home. As I usually tell everyone, you can stream in your underwear, just do not stand up, and we'll be fine with that. And Lazar will be one of the brilliant 13 speakers that will be at that actual event. Remember, in attendance will be a $150 million speaker plus a $20 million speaker that will both be spewing all their Amazon knowledge live, again, in the comfort of your own home, all hosted by the man, the myth, the legend, Howard Tai. So to find out more about that actual event, head on over to howardtai.com/PPE3. And remember, right now we are in early bird pricing, which means you will get 50% off the usual ticket price, and you will pay the same amount that people who have attended previous masterminds get at a discount. So you will now be part of the brotherhood/sisterhood of the most premier level of Amazon sellers on the planet. So thanks again so much, Lazar. Any final words from you about how excited you are to speak at this event before we say goodbye here?
Well, I'm more than excited. Like, Howard Tai is, as you said, like the man, the myth, the legend, like one of the biggest names in Amazon, and I'm really, really proud to be part of the talk.
Absolutely, and we're excited to have you. And Howie, any last words from you before we say goodbye here?
I think I said a lot of words today, don't you think?
That's the most we've ever heard Howie talk.
Excited.
I'm beginning to get a little suspicious. I think he might have had his buddy Don Julio right next to him there. We might not have noticed. Maybe his wife slipped it into his coffee or his late night coffee. I don't know. Howie, tell me, did you have some Don Julio? The cat slipped in some Don Julio in your Starbucks Frappuccino?
It's just that I really care for Lazar. You know, we went through a lot, so I have a lot of questions, you know. So let our audience like excited about what Lazar has to say. I actually want like Lazar to teach our audience how to build the linkage of all the attribution from like Google to Facebook to PPC, all these attribution that can help them with their overall sales, like the funnel we call it.
Yeah, that would absolutely be fascinating. So amazing. So thank you again, Lazar. Thank you, Howie. Once again, to find out more information about Professor's Pandemic 3.0, head on over to howardtai.com/PPE3. And remember, right now is early bird pricing, which is only going to last for about another week and a half or so. But other than that, thanks so much for joining us on the Professor's Podcast. I will see you next time along with Howie Tai. And thanks again, Lazar.
Thanks, Lazar.
Thank you so much, guys.